spokesman and CEO of social media performer Getter. Jason Miller, can you believe this happened?
No, this is the most ridiculous abuse of justice that I've seen in my entire lifetime. In fact, never before have we had a former president have his home raided by U.S. law enforcement. And here's the thing. In the short term, this has led to a boost for President Trump. New polling out today from Morning Consult as well as Politico shows Trump going up 4 points with Republicans and the second place contender for hypothetical 2024 matchup dropping 6. So a 10-point swing. So as a Trump partisan, I like the fact that it's boosted him. This is terrible for democracy. This is how we become Venezuela, Cuba, the CCP. This is such a ridiculous just destruction of our institutions.
The Democrats would say that Trump organized a coup on the 6th of January to overturn the result of a democratic election, and therefore they were in their right to seek a warrant. And of course, the Attorney General, did apply for this warrant. Although interestingly, the White House now say they had nothing to do with it, which doesn't quite pass the credibility test. But that's the charge. The charge is there was a plot, a conspiracy, and those papers were going to be on Donald Trump's coffee table in Mar-a-Lago.
So here's what a lot of folks in the UK might not realize is that Trump's obviously being investigated by the January 6th committee. You have everything that happened on that day. This raid, though, was specific to the National Archives and with returning records. President Trump had previously returned 15 boxes of things that were brought to Mar-a-Lago that, quite frankly, probably shouldn't have been. But what was in those? Things like his letter from President Obama, his letter from Kim Jong-un. This was not, say, our list of top spies or where the Iranians are building their uranium enrichment facilities. These were things such as letters. Now, what's in the 10 boxes they supposedly took away? I don't know that. I don't have insight into that. But to your point about they better have some real proof, I tell you, I speak with the big heavy hitters at the New York Times, the Washington Post, all the big outlets, even all the mainstream lefty journalists say they better have something good or they're going to have hell to pay.
Because if he has taken things from the White House that were supposed to be left, that would disbar him from standing again, as I understand American law.
Well, lawyers are split on that one, and they say that the law that says that could be a potential disbarment, that's a statute as opposed to the Constitution, our U.S. Constitution, laying out the very clear terms, and they say that would override a statute. But here's the point. When you go to what actually was there, we don't know. And supposedly this came from a tip. So we have no idea what the speculation is. If this turns out to just be more correspondence, more letters, and they raided his house with the proverbial jackbooted thugs, there's going to be a real problem.
Now, the timing of this was no coincidence because, of course, he was in New York pleading the Fifth Amendment, claiming his right to silence over an investigation into, his own company, the Trump company. He's facing a sort of whole series, isn't he, of legal suits in America?
Well, it is, and I had name-checked a few of them. You brought up, obviously, the New York Attorney General investigation into his companies. Now, interestingly here is keep in mind, we've gone through so much over the last few years with Trump. We went through Jim Comey and McCabe and Russia and Mueller, impeachment 1, impeachment 2. In Trump world, we just call this Thursday. There's more of these continually coming. Interestingly enough, when the New York DA was looking into President Trump's business dealings and his background, they decided not to press charges. Keep in mind, when we had the Russia investigation, that turned out to be a complete hoax.
I remember.
So every day there's some breaking news chyron on CNN saying this might be the thing that sends President Trump to jail. But guess what? It always ends up being nothing. And so we're conditioned to think that, what's the latest swirl? But so far, I think they've bit off more than they can chew on this one.